Good morning, YouTube. Boom. Twitch. And Kick. Rock on. Alright, I'm back on. Starting late today. I chose to stay up late. Way too late last night. Just didn't want to get to bed. Lately, I've been having a lot of angry thoughts, ruminations before I try to go to sleep. So last night I was like, fuck it, and just stayed up until like 3 a.m. watching the whole first season of Peacemaker for the first time. Awesome show. Finally got up at like 8:30. Woke up to poop in the house because I didn't get up early enough to let the dog outside. I'm sorry, poop in the apartment. I'm no longer a homeowner. I don't have a house anymore. I rent now. Which is part of the reason why I have anger to work through at the moment. Tried to help out a family member earlier this year. They stole from me. My wife saw me going into my dissociation anger phase again. Couldn't stand it, so we separated. Sold the house. Now I'm living on my own for the first time. Blah, blah, blah. And still processing those feelings because I have a hard time with that shit. I can't just let it go. I mean, especially when the fucker stole my wedding ring. And the last, recording, a cell phone that had the last recording of my mother-in-law talking to my wife, leaving a message for her, saying that I love her, like something that she used to listen to on a regular basis. Like, he took a lot of emotional shit. Probably thinking that it was harmless, like petty theft. He's in jail right now. Got hit by a car, went to jail. Proof that God answers prayers. I keep praying that vengeance is getting doled out on him so I don't have to do it myself, because I want to fucking beat him with a crowbar so fucking bad, like Jason Todd style, within an inch of his fucking life. I really do. And that's what I keep ruminating about before I go to sleep at night. So, yeah. That's why I just stayed up last night, so I wouldn't get caught up in that anger cycle again. Boom, cool light. Yeah. Greater. Alright. But I really want to finish this novella. You know me, I've been looking for work all year, unsuccessfully. And this is a desperate attempt for me to try to make money, along with doing the streaming thing and writing, because even in hard times, people still pay for entertainment. If anything, that's the thing that goes up. So, yeah, and romantasy is the top-selling genre. I'm not real big on romance, but it's the thing that's most likely to sell. And if novellas are small, cheap, easy to make, it seems like the best thing to do at the moment. Was waiting to hear back from a job, again, that I thought was going to be a shoo-in. For sure, I spoke to someone on Friday. They let me know if we decide to move forward with your application, we will contact you in 24 hours. It's been 24 hours. They didn't contact me. And that's been this whole year. Every time I have an interview for something where I'm like, oh, there's no way I'm not going to get this job, I don't get the job. And it's depressing as hell. Better this week. Last week, earlier this week, I was really, really depressed, like dangerously depressed. Like, I might need to check myself into a ward level depressed. Sorry for the eating. This is breakfast. This is my last stream. I just played Warframe for a couple of hours as soon as I got up, which is good. Hung out with Diabolist. Appreciate you, man. You became my 50th follower. That's big. That's a big benchmark. I really appreciate that. Come on, watch myself. Yeah. Watch myself. Yeah. So, yeah, that's my day so far. And I really, really want to finish at least chapter 15 on the edits on this today. Maybe 16 as well. So I'm supposed to clean. I got to take care of my animals. I got Rizzy over here, who I've just started feeding new veggies to, which has been fantastic. I got him bok choy and turnip greens and cucumber. He had his first cucumber yesterday. He had mushrooms for the first time the day before that. So I'm expanding his diet, and it looks like he got bigger last night. I swear to God, like this little dude having his growth spurts. He's gonna be 1 in like 2 weeks, I think. So this will be his first Christmas, possibly his only Christmas, because he's a bearded dragon. Next year he's probably gonna be hibernating at this time. And next year at this time, I should be living in another state. Next year at this time, if everything goes the way the wife and I have planned, I will be living in my second new state of the year. So, I mean, we're talking like we still got a future. But I don't know. She talks about the future with sadness, with hesitation. Like, it might not happen. Like, I have to continue to change or provide or something. So, again, if you can follow, keep up with me, that would be appreciated. I need to monetize something to keep alive, to keep my marriage alive, to keep my pets alive. Because I'm struggling. I'm hustling this year. It sucks. It really sucks. I got another job interview tomorrow, working at a church, doing, I don't know, some type of coordination type of thing. Seems like an event planner thing. Honestly, doesn't sound like anything that would really fit for me, but could be an opportunity to grow, and growth is important. Growth is very important, especially this year, going into next year. Yeah. So that feels like enough venting. Still need to get a car. Not looking forward to that. That's for the sake of the expense and the responsibility, but I need to be able to travel, get around, maybe DoorDash. Adapt, change, grow. So yeah, let's get back to it. And let's take care of that light. That's a little bit annoying. Glowing ambiance of the outdoors. I don't need all that right now. Hi, Lou, and you will be more prone to distraction. Let's play this. Yeah, oh my sweet beautiful dog. Get your paw out of there. Get your paw out of there. Move your paw. Move your paw, you goofy bitch. Good girl. Here, have a piece of apple. Good girl. Alright, let's start this. So, I'm on page 3 of 6. 2,443 words on this chapter. I like my minimum word count to be at least 2,500. So I hit, like, the word count that I want for this book, which is 40,000 words. That's what makes it a novella. If it was a novel, it would be about 80,000 words, 80 to 120,000 words at least. Typically when I write, I do a lot of world building, a lot of characters. I tend to go too fast, too soon, get myself a little lost, stuck, suffer from floating head syndrome, where you're constantly shifting perspectives. And it's hard on the reader, it's hard on me as a writer to produce that stuff, and that's why I've got like 7 various books that have been started and not finished, not including this. This is a relatively new idea that I had brainstormed maybe a year ago, maybe a little less than a year, and then got serious about writing it in November. And now it's a matter of getting it done. But this is compressed. It's a smaller project. Typically the word count, the goal for any writing project of mine is about 200,000 words. just major overkill. So the objective here is keep it small, keep it contained. I got 2 characters that I'm working with. They're in one setting. They don't travel around a lot. So environments would be cheap if I wanted to make this something animated or CG or anything like that. Like I said, it's Romantasy. So a lot about feelings. Apparently Romantasy is selling because times are tough. People like escapism, especially women. And this is a genre where you can experiment with philosophical ideas or taboos in a safe space because it's not too real. So there's that suspension of reality. So yeah. Sorry, finishing my large, tasty apple. Very good. Very, very good. I'm sure a bit with my bunny. Mojo. Mojo. Come here, dude. Alright. So back to it. Now, what I'm doing right now, where I'm at, is this is chapter 14. This is like my second to the last chapter, although not, because I have 16 chapters, but 16 is a hook for another book in the series. So it's short. I'm only doing 1,000 words on that. Right now it's only 750, so I got room to play. Like I said, with this one, I want to add, I got like 57 words that I can add to this just to get it into the range of small that I want. So between 2,500, 3,000 words. So I've got room to add stuff. Like I can add tension to this chapter if I feel like it's needing it. Yesterday I had taken one whole section out because it was a repeat of the section that had come before it. And yeah. And second to last chapters like this always make me a little bit emotional because as I was writing this as a draft, I found myself actually tearing up a little bit because it was the realization like, oh, I'm coming to the end of my adventure with these characters. But then you have editing, and editing, oh my god, this sucks. Like, the drafts it's supposed to be the hard work. It's supposed to be drafting. This editing feels like the hard work. That's maybe why I'm procrastinating right now, because I'm not sure how to dig into this. ChatGPT has been a big help. I love to cheat. I don't like it to generate text for me, but I like it to catch where I could improve my text. Or explain to me why something works, why something doesn't, and then continue to play with it from there. So you will see me argue with ChatGPT about how to do this stuff. That's 13 minutes of me just babbling about my life, and I'm talking about writing without actually writing. So let's dig in, shall we? I'm sorry. Anybody who's watching who notices I'm wearing the same shirt from yesterday. It's been one of those days. I will most likely shower at some point and freshen myself up a little bit more. I at least got rid of the neck beard stuff here, so I got more defined stuff. But this is still just lazy facial hair. All right. They sat together on a sun-warmed rock, the sea foaming gently below. Arista held one of the fish she had caught earlier, her prize. Garrett reached for it. Here, give it to me. I'll gut it and cook it. Give it to me. Here. So this area could be doing so much more. It really could. But without it becoming an instruction manual on how to prepare fish. How do I keep the story elements to it? Alright. Garrett reached for it. Here, give it to me. I'll gut it and cook it. For you. Cook, she repeated, eyebrows lifting, you'll ruin it. Before he could argue, she bit into the fish's belly with a swift, unapologetic chomp. Garrett recoiled so fast, he nearly toppled backward. Arista, gods no. At least remove the organs and bones. She chewed, entirely pleased, juice and brine running down her chin. What? She asked through a mouthful. It is fresh, warm, perfect. Warm. I don't know about warm. What if I said full of life? Perfect. Garrett pressed a hand to his forehead. You can't just... You didn't even... Didn't, not don't. You didn't even... You didn't even... It's raw. And she blinked innocently, taking another bite. Fire changes the taste. All creatures of the sea know this. The smoke gets inside, the oils burn, it tastes like driftwood. Ash. Only if you're not careful, he added helplessly. How did I misspell careful? Oh, I see, extra R. She paused mid-bite. You prefer the taste of driftwood? It's far too dry. I ruin it with some ritual. He groaned and reached for the remaining half of the fish. Give it to me, let me show you. A short while later, he had a small fire going, the fish clean, skewered, and sizzling, the air filled with the scent of crisping skin. See, and then I double use the word ritual. Yeah. I'm into the edit phase of the draft, and I don't care for this section. What's up, my guy? It's always interesting watching him get going. My lizard, Rizzy, he starts off slow and gradually works his way up to the warmest point of his tank, or to a place where he can get his body temperature up in order to digest past his bowels, and then he becomes much more active. So, I don't know. I just want to leave him and let him continue to crawl toward his basking spot, or there's that temptation to just pick him up and set him there. Does get him going quite a bit faster. She paused mid-bite. Why ruin it? Why not just keep it simple? It serves its purpose. My life for its. He groaned and reached the remaining half of the fish. Keep it here, let me show you. A short while later, he had a small fire going, the fish cleaned, skewered, and sizzling, the air filled with the scent of crisping skin. Arista watched the entire process like he was performing some deeply concerning ritual, her expression shifting between curiosity and alarm. You do all this, she said slowly, just to eat one small animal? Yes, Garrett said, flipping the fish, and it's delicious. She leaned close to the fire, sniffing tentatively. Her eyes fluttered. It smells strange. Good strange, he insisted. It's one of those moments where I need discipline. My fingers are sloppy today. Dries it to a husk. The smoke gets inside, the oils burn. It tastes like ash. Okay. What do I not like about this scene? Feels undercomplicated, overly simplified, feels rushed. So where's the purpose of this section? Minor conflict, show difference of lifestyles, introduce some of the alien complications of their relationship, help to establish passage of time. I feel like it's not being handled directly enough. They sat together on a sun-warmed rock, the sea foaming gently below them. chomp. I don't know if I like the word chomp there. They sat together on a sun-warmed rock, the sea foaming gently below. Arista held one of the fish she had caught earlier, her prize. Garrett reached for it. Here, give it to me. I'll gut it and cook it for you. Cook, she repeated, eyebrows lifting. You'll ruin it. It's fresh and vital right now, filled with salt and nutrients from the sea. She clutched the wriggling, gasping creature to her breast. I don't think I need to say defensively. Before he could argue, she bit into the fish's belly with a swift, unapologetic. Do I want to say chomp or do I want to say rending of flesh? Rending of its flesh. I cannot spell today. Fat fingers, I swear. Garrett recoiled so fast, he nearly toppled backward. Get rid of that altogether. Garrett recoiled. Arista, gods no, at least remove the organs and bones first. She chewed, entirely pleased, juice and brine running down her chin. Very satisfying crunchiness that I adore. Garrett pressed a hand to his forehead. You didn't even. It's raw. And she blinked innocently, taking another bite. Fire destroys things. And makes them sink. Hey, Drowning Devil, how you doing? Appreciate you coming back. I cannot punctuate. My fingers are sloppy today. And she blinked innocently, taking another bite. Fire destroys things and makes them sink. It dries all it touches and makes. Right, he makes in the last one. Awesome. Keep it up. Fire destroys things and makes them sink. It dries all it touches and causes them to become brittle. Only if you're not careful, he said helplessly. Only if you are, say, careless instead of not careful. Working on character dialogue and interaction and sort of slice of life type of chapter between these two characters. And I got a rule going where one of them I want to talk less to be more plain, and the other one to talk more and be more poetic. It dries all it touches. Is that not the right dries? It. That's why. That's why I'm getting the blue underlines. It dries all it touches and causes them to become brittle. Only if you're careless, he said. Helplessly? He's not helpless. He's dismayed. That's what he is. He's dismayed. Dismayed at her dignified speech coupled with her barbarous. Is that how you spell? Oh, that is how you spell it. Yay. Barbarous actions, behavior, coupled with her barbarous behavior. I like behavior, that way I get alliteration in there. Barbarous behavior, that works. So what are you working on? You're writing are you writing Romantasy as well? I know there was someone else on my chat who was working on also working in Romantasy. Yeah. She paused mid-bite. Why ruin it? It serves its purpose. My life for its, or my life in exchange for its? My life in exchange for its. Or maybe just it. Its is weird. Its is a weird word. Especially when like you mean it in a possessive term but you don't use an apostrophe. Say in exchange for its. So what is yours about? You got elves or dwarves, or like what's your relationship construct like? Because like clearly I'm writing about a human and a mermaid trying to work things out. So this is my own weird spin on the Little Mermaid, basically. Especially because I think mermaids are horrifying. Like they're horrifying creatures. They should be terrifying. Like the whole myth about them isn't that they want to walk and dance and sing and make Disney movies, but they want to drown sailors. They want to like sink ships and bring them to ruin. So I'm going with more of like the dark mermaid, sea witch sort of character. What about you? What's your what's your high concept? What's your unique selling point for your story? I'm curious. She paused mid-bite. Why ruin it? It serves its purpose. My life in exchange for it. It. Only if you're careless, he said, dismayed at her dignified speech, coupled with or in contrast to. I could say in juxtaposition. That's a fun word, to juxtapose. Who doesn't love a good juxtaposition? Only if you're careless, he said, dismayed at her dignified speech, in contrast to her barbarous behavior. Let's say couple in contrast to, not coupled with. Learning about a princess and an H2O-esque mermaid, falling in love and running away together to a kingdom of monsters where they learn how to be their own people outside of royal constructs. Sweet. I like that. It's Yeah, I like that. It's a little bit. It sounds like what you got going is the opposite of what I'm doing, where I have my couple already outside of the construct because I have them on this cursed island that they can't escape from, and then the second book they're actually going to be going into um, the human city and showing how they can work out the relationship within the construct. So that's cool. That's really cool. It sounds like you're doing like similar but opposite beat of what I'm working on. That's fantastic. Only if you're careless, he said, dismayed at her dignified speech in contrast to her barbarous behavior. She paused mid-bite. Why ruin it? It serves its purpose, my life in exchange for it. He groaned and reached for the remaining half of the fish. She took another nibble before reluctantly passing it to him. Short while later, he had a small fire going, the fish clean, skewered and sizzling, the air filled with the scent of crisping skin. Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, that sounds awesome. Yeah, you'll have to let me know if you get that or when you get that like done and you know put the final flourish on that and where I could read it. That sounds interesting. I would definitely like to check out your stuff. First to watch the entire process. Thank you. Watch the entire process like he was performing some deeply concerning ritual, her expression shifting between curiosity and alarm. I'd say right now the main beat of my story, like the main emotional point of this is can true love actually happen in the situation that they're in? Because they're on a cursed island. Arista can't leave until true love breaks the spell. But if you're put in a contained environment where you have that expectation on you, can true love actually occur? Or is it all forced? Like, is it all just manufactured? If it's for the sake of convenience, or if you have an ulterior like motive. So I think it has a lot to do with like codependency. Arista watched the entire process like he was performing some deeply concerning ritual, her expression shifting between curiosity and alarm. Yeah, yeah, it's very Beauty and the Beast. Little bit of like The Tempest. There's some Robinson Crusoe. I got one chapter that I call my Moby Dick chapter because I feel like it just kind of drags on a little bit. I go a little Melville with it. So yeah, a lot of ocean elements, a lot of sea stuff. Like I used to have nightmares about mermaids when I was a kid, and so I'm kind of tapping into that a little bit. So there's a touch of goosebumps to it as well. Arissa watched the entire process like he was performing some deeply concerning ritual, her expression shifting between curiosity and alarm. Particularly at the wasted entrails and head that he had cast aside. You do all this, she said slowly, just to eat one small animal. and only one small part. I really think you should. Yeah, I mean, that's your subconscious trying to relay stuff to you, and that's a great way to help process stuff. Like, I had another book that I had to stop working on because the emotions that I have associated with the characters that I'm working with, I haven't really defined and worked out for myself yet, so I kind of took a step back from this and jumped into this one. But yeah, I mean, for sure. And there have been times where I've wanted to quit certain writing projects. Like, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm done. I can't do this book. And I swear to God, I started to see some of the characters in the book, like, just hanging out in my house, mocking me for it. So I was like, okay, so this clearly isn't something I'm going to be able to put down. So that would be a great way to exercise your demons, as it were. Like, give them a voice. Let them talk through their own shit. And that could definitely help you to clarify yourself in reality, for sure. I ruin it, serves its purpose, my life in exchange for it. He groaned and reached for the remaining half of the fish. Give it here, let me show you. She took another nibble before reluctantly passing it over. Passing it over. I like that better. A short while later, he had a small fire going, the fish clean, skewered, and sizzling, the air filled with a scent of crisping skin. In fact, I got another project in mind that I want to work on, maybe after this, about a dream that I had a couple of weeks ago. And, like, as I was having the dream, I was alert enough to be like, this would make a really good script. So I think I actually want to work on a script for, like, an indie movie, indie project next. But we'll see. I gotta finish this. I really want to try and get this, like, a level of done on this by Christmas, so I can present it to my wife. Yeah, you should practice writing that stuff, at least brainstorming. Keep a journal. Well, and that's where writing helps. Like, dreams are your subconscious scrambling to find meaning, scrambling to sort things out. But language, writing, is logic. It's like math, but with words. So write it down. And that can definitely help you to put things in a more systematic, logical sequence. Really make sense of stuff. No. No, what are you doing? I don't want that. That's not, again, I'm just hitting wrong buttons. And only a part. Yes, Garrett said, flipping the fish, and it's delicious. The best parts. And they're delicious. She leaned close to the fire, sniffing tentatively. Her eyes fluttered. It smells strange. Smoky. Good strange, he insisted, tearing off a flaky piece and offering it to her. She took it with the caution of someone handed a mysterious artifact. She chewed. Thoughtfully, and her eyes. I hate it when sentences start with "and." This is one of those ChatGPT edits that I do. We don't need "and." She chewed thoughtfully. Then her eyes widened. This tastes, she paused, chewing again with rising wonder. This tastes delicious. Enhanced. Oh, hey buddy. Okay, real quick, I gotta do something. My lizard just made a poop, a wet one, because I could hear it. And if I'm not careful, he will, yeah, oh, it's drippy. He will turn around and crawl on it and get himself covered with salmonella. So I gotta grab him quick, move him, clean that up. Hey buddy, you got your tail up? Yeah, don't touch it. Oh, what a big dookie. What a big dookie you made. Here's my little boy. Yeah, there's my little boy. Come on. Yep. There you go. Good boy. I'll be right back. Yeah, I'll be back, dude. I'm gonna grab another shot. Hey, dude. Check your butt real quick. Don't be defensive. And make sure you didn't get anything on your tail. It's still clean. Yeah, good boy. Yeah, just making sure you're not getting that salmonella on you, dude. Here you go, buddy. Yeah, have another bite. Yes, good boy. Good boy. Good dude. Good dude. Yeah, another one? Alright, buddy. Another bite? Alright. Sweet. Good boy. Good boy. Alright, good fella. Good boy. Yeah. Yeah, it's the fun of pets. Every day is poop duty. Alright. Good boy. It's my little juvenile bearded dragon. Swear he had a growth spurt last night, so he's even bigger today. Such a handsome fella. I'd take him out and hold him for a little bit, but I just gave him another round of leaves, and they like to hold stuff in their jaw in order to pull moisture out, and if you startle them while they're doing that, they can end up choking on it. So we'll see in a little bit. Now that he's voided his bowels for the day, I can handle him and not worry about getting pooped on. So probably have him out a little bit later on this stream, especially if I'm still working on this chapter. But I got my word count up by about 100 since I started working today, so that's good. I try to keep all my chapters between 2,500 and 3,000 words so I can have it contained. Yeah, that's honestly the worst part about dogs, I think, is how much better behaved they become. Like, the more they learn your routine, the better they get, but that's also the older they get, so you get a better dog as you're, getting closer to not having your dog. My girl, Lulabelle, is going to be 8 years old in 2 or 3 days. I think the 23rd is her birthday. She's my little Christmas puppy. Got her from a breeder, pick of the litter. I had her name picked out and put money down on her before she was even born. So she's, yeah, she's my puppy still. Yeah, I got an apartment full of critters. I got my dog Lulabelle, my lizard Rizzy, my rabbit Mojo, and my cat Mischief, who is somewhere around here. Yes, Garrett said flip them a fish, the best parts, and they're delicious. I said only the best parts. Yeah, Chihuahuas are neat. Those things can live for like 20 years. So you should have her for a while. I feel like they're one of the longest lived breeds of dogs. She leaned close to the fire, sniffing tentatively. Her eyes fluttered. It smells strange. Smoky. Good strange, she insisted, tearing off a flaky piece and offering it to her. She took it with the caution of someone handed a mysterious artifact. She chewed thoughtfully, then her eyes widened. This tastes, she paused, chewing again with rising wonder. This tastes delicious, enhanced. And she frowned. But why? Because cooking does that. Yeah, simplified answer. Because cooking does that. No, Garrett, what the fuck are you... What, come on, dude. You can give me better lines than that. Because I cooked all the ocean out. It made it easier to digest. No. Easier to chew. Hey, there we go. Gotta keep them blunt and basic. Can't have them be too philosophical or scientific. Like, Garrett is a prince, but he's blunt. He's down to earth. Earthy is how I'm trying to make my human in this story. whereas my mermaid is full of depth and mystery, like the ocean. Arista looks at the half-cooked fish. It's not half-cooked, it's cooked. Arista looked at the half-cooked fish as if this revelation had upended centuries of cultural understanding. No. I can just ditch that line entirely. I don't love it. I don't like it. It doesn't need to be there. I can see that. Like they intentionally avoid culture and society so they don't have to have the rules imposed on them. Not forced into civilization. I actually kind of covered that a little bit earlier where in a previous chapter where they're talking about clothes and like why do humans wear clothes, because Arista doesn't fully understand the concept. What's up, Riz? Hey, dude. Hi. You and your typical perch? Yeah, buddy? Hi, my guy. Hi, my guy. Will you behave if I take you out for a little bit? Because I cooked all the ocean out and made it easier to chew. I need a line of action here. Because I cooked all the ocean out and made it easier to chew. She raised a brow. What am I trying to say here? She raised a brow and she gave him a look. She raised a brow, giving him a look. Can I just say, just giving him a look? A look before tearing. That's what I like doing in a lot of my fantasies, giving monsters some of the constructed society, but it's kind of like Zootopia, where everything is very acceptable and every type of creature is building a society is made of choice. Sounds cool. Sounds very cool. I kind of have a culture like that in one of my books that I'm working on, which I've established. I've managed to incorporate this story into that world, which I do a whole pre-Diluvian thing. Like, my world exists prior to the flood, so I incorporate biblical aspects as well, because I grew up in a very religious environment. But there's a verse that always stuck out in my head, the story of the Nephilim, where the sons of God saw that the daughters of men were beautiful, came down, had children by them, had as many wives as they wanted to, and their children became the Nephilim, these giants who were the men of renown and heroes of old. And men of renown and heroes of old always stuck in my head as a kid. Like, this sounds like where all the best stuff happened. Like this, and like there's a book that's mentioned by Moses, that supposedly Moses wrote a book called The War of the Gods that never got incorporated into any Bible or anything. And War of the Gods is a term that you see pop up when one culture takes over another culture, and what that is philosophies, societal standards and ideals merging together. That's what Wars of the Gods are, from a philosophical perspective. And so, what I do is I take the story of the Nephilim from the Book of Enoch, and I combine that with elves of Celtic myth, because there are a lot of stories about sky gods coming down, having children with mortal women, and they have these heroic, amazing children. And so in Irish mythology, when that got combined with Christian mythology, elves all of a sudden became children of the angels. So I'm like, I really like that. So my elves are my Nephilim from the Bible. Well, religion and myth and all that spiritual stuff used to be how people tried to explain philosophy and idealism and basically things that are psychological. So now, in the era that we live in, post Nietzsche, post Jung, where psychology is a thing, when you try to write religiosity, what you're really doing is writing psychology, which from the Greek, psyche means soul or butterfly, but soul and ology meaning knowledge of. So it's knowledge of the soul. And again, that's what myth and religion were trying to teach. That's what the whole hero's journey is. That really is the essence of all story writing, is that it's growth and it's discovery. So yeah, I use Milton and Dante Alighieri as major inspirations. Like, I like to think that what I'm working on is a storyline that could take place between Milton's Paradise Lost and Dante Alighieri's The Inferno. And my magnum opus, the thing that I really want to write, is my main character Jost, a high elf, going to hell and living there for like years and traveling through the realms of hell and kind of like breaking down the psychological aspects. Because I see demons, I write them as I'm very inspired by what is it, the Ars Goetia. Like, if you're familiar with Visipop and what she does, she draws a lot of characters from this as well. The Book of Demons, supposedly written by Solomon. Yeah, that's cool. Writing about hell is fun. It's a great way to explore psychology. But what I got from reading that, from reading a lot of the stories and the descriptions in that about demons, about Solomon summoning demons and talking to them, and the way that they like hide their names and sort of like tell who they are through riddles and stories, like these are aberrations of thought. Like, these are non sequiturs. These are errors in thinking, and that's what makes them sinful. Like, that's what separates them from divinity and from virtue and from like sinless thought, is that they're mental obstructions. They're things that kind of keep us from growth and tempt us. Like, there's one story that he's got about a woman who appears attractive from a distance, but you get closer and she becomes less attractive, and she's got parts of a donkey worked into her physiology, like the lower half of her, like a fawn, but with donkey parts. And her name isn't really mentioned, but I read that description and how she talks about herself, and I'm like, oh, that's nostalgia. That's wanting to go back to something in the past that seems great at the time because we were innocent and ignorant then, but in reality it keeps us stuck. So yeah, that's kind of how I write my demons and my whole hellscape, is that it's a collection of errors of thought. But yeah, fun stuff to work into. It fascinates the hell out of me. Let's see. Because I cooked all the ocean out and made it easier to chew. She raised a brow and gave him a look. Gave him a what look? She raised a brow and gave him a conflicted look. Feels like a filler for now. I'm supposed to be past the filler phase, but give him a conflicted look before tearing. We want action, not past tense, not another she. Before tearing off another piece, more eagerly this time. Well, she said at last, lifting her chin with faux dignity. I don't need the word faux. Lifting her chin with sustained dignity. Perhaps the land has some small wisdom after all. Garrett grinned. High praise. She nudged him with her shoulder. Do not get used to it. I don't mean nudged him with her shoulder. I do enough of that in the chapter before. Sat around the crunches of another mouthful. Do not get used to it. Okay. Okay, so I'm on another beat, another section. This whole chapter is, like I said, slice of life. It's meant to show a passage of time and what daily life is like for them. On one particular day, Arista had seemed particularly forlorn. What the fuck? One particular day had seemed particularly for. Why would I do that to myself? Because I was in a rush and I wanted to get this done. On one day. No, on... Yeah, this is highlighting time a little too much. Okay. Getting close to the end of this chapter. I kind of wanted to add another beat to this, another point of conflict, something. Another touch of tension. Doesn't need to be long. See if ChatGPT can help me a little bit with this. So I've got 3 separate beats. Okay, yeah, those are good. Got kind of a meet cute thing going on. Novel critique process. Can literally create a new standard. Because she's royalty. Another of my stories, there are monster children who have never been out into the world and they are unaware of what it means to look normal to the rest of the world. But literally the reason they are isolated is because of what they are. That sounds very interesting. That sounds really cool. I got one that I was working on that I kind of put down that I want to get back into. It's an isekai. Yeah, so she can change the standard. And writing female protagonists is interesting because with male protagonists, they always have to have this growth. Like they have this call to adventure, the refusal of the call. They have to go through all these challenges and trials and then reach this point where, like, you know what, that thing that I wanted isn't really the thing that I wanted. I want this instead. Typically, it'll be like the love interest or something like that, and it's this whole long, lengthy process of growth. Whereas for your female characters, like, they figure their shit out right away. And then they just are made to suffer for it. So it's a bit of a reversal, and that's why so many of the female heroes' journey will end in tragedy. It seems like they either die because the world can't accept what they're trying to change, whereas for the male hero, like, yes, I will change the world, or they have to give up what they wanted and go back into the domestic life. So it's cool that you got like your female character that can make these royal decrees and make grand sweeping changes. That's a nice reversal on the what keeps a lot of female heroes' journeys stuck. But I got one that I'm working on that it's fun. It's a lot of fun. It sounds a lot like this would be more up your alley, where I'm writing an isekai where I literally just create this bizarre situation and put myself into it. Like, if I were born into this situation, how would I handle this? And it's me being born as the demon lord, but like as a baby. So like the grand royal poobah of everything, but as a baby who is being raised by monsters. So it's isekai, but there's elements of like Stewie from Family Guy, where I have all my intelligence and faculties in check, but I can't speak the language of the monsters, and they are monsters, so they're all horrifying, and I'm having all these reactions and being small and helpless, and little things like not being able to control my bowels, like really, like if my mind was trapped inside a baby in this situation, how would I cope? How would I deal? And it's fun. It's interesting. It's weird. Surrounded by monsters that have their own rules, their own ways of dealing with things, their own levels of excitement. I actually have a character in it that's very similar to how I'm writing Arista, but more grand, more ridiculous. You're right to trust that instinct. Oh, yeah. Okay, so that's just my last comment. So, did I copy all this? Control C. I'm going to use ChatGPT a little bit to try and help me get back into this. Here is my first half of chapter 14. 3 separate beats. Before the final scene. Critiques, things to improve, and I feel like I need an extra scene of conflict / tension before wrapping it up. Control V, throw that in, parentheses. This is where I would like to add a bit of a rift, some minor tension before the following, parentheses, grab this, everything that I haven't edited and gone through yet. You see the fat, chunky paragraphs. Like, I already know I gotta go through and break a lot of that up. Control C. Control V. Boom. What are you gonna tell me, AI? What's... Or are you going to tell me I already got it and I don't need to worry about it? See, I love how ChatGPT helps for the editing process. This is strong. This is a strong, alive chapter. There's charm, humor, intimacy, and then a genuinely mythic turn into grief and catastrophe. You're not wrong that it works, but you're also absolutely right that it wants one more turn of the screw before the storm. I'll break this into 4 parts: macro critique, structure and beats, line level and craft notes, what's missing emotionally and why you feel it, a concrete suggestion for the extra conflict tension scene. Macro critique, structures and beats. You said 3 separate beats before the final scene. That's correct, and they're well chosen. Beat 1, domestic comedy, intimacy, the beard scene. This is excellent. It establishes trust, sexual tension, cultural misunderstanding, a false sense of safety. The fake-out threat with the knife is playful and reveals character without cruelty. This beat does exactly what it should. Beat 2, cultural clash, power imbalance, fishing and net. Also strong, reinforces Arissa's elemental superiority. Garrett's adaptability and limits, environmental philosophy versus human utility. You are right earlier. The hook part is redundant, but you already fixed it by compressing it. This beat works, but it's still light. That matters later. Beat 3, consumption and philosophy, cooking fish. This is the thematic hinge of the chapter. Raw versus cooked, exchange versus domination, fire versus sea, life taken cleanly versus transformed. This is where the chapter quietly introduces the central fracture. The land changes things, the sea accepts things. Yeah. Very good. Beat 4, Storm and Revelation, tonally powerful, visceral, mythic, emotionally honest, but, and this is key, the storm escalates too fast relative to tension beforehand, not illogically, emotionally. Yes, I need to build up to it. Line level craft notes, selective important ones. I won't nitpick everything, but here are high impact improvements. Tighten repetition and dialogue. You occasionally stack pleas or reactions that hit the same note twice. Example, early Arista please, he pleaded softly. Arista, my love, he please, he begged. One of these can go or be altered. You already sell the fear. Yeah, that's during the beard scene. Yep. Watch pronoun name consistency and typos. Ooh. A few immersion breakers you'll want to clean in revision. Crestfallen is crestfallen, one word. Message received. Tonal modernism works if intentional, but it's very contemporary. With Arista coiled around him. Oh, yeah. I misspelled her name. Spy should be spied. Disturbed, misspelled as deturbed. Arista, salt laden tears should be Arista. Okay. These aren't conceptual issues, just polish. Yeah, typos. Arista's voice is strong. Let her be sharper once. She's playful, regal, curious, but right before her withdrawal, she becomes too gentle too quickly. You want one moment where her words cut, even unintentionally. Yeah, that's kind of her nature, too. Which brings us to what's missing while you feel you need another scene. You instinctively feel the need for an extra scene of conflict, tension before wrapping it up. You're correct, and here's why. Right now, all conflict is externalized into the storm, but emotionally the storm should feel like the inevitable consequence of something unsaid or mishandled. At present, Garrett does nothing wrong enough beforehand. That makes his drowning feel faded rather than tragic, Arista's guilt feel abstract rather than earned, the rift feel sudden rather than seated. You need a hairline fracture, not a fight, not cruelty, just misalignment. The extra scene you need, concrete suggestion. This scene should introduce asymmetry of sacrifice, make Arista feel seen but not understood, give the storm emotional momentum. Best placement immediately after the cooked fish scene. Duh. On one particular day, Arista had seemed particularly forlorn. Yeah. Shape of the scene. Short, sharp, painful in hindsight. Option A, the leaving thought, my strong recommendation. Garrett says something well-meaning and devastating. Example sketch, not polished prose, just concept. He talks about how much he's learned, how he could survive anywhere now, how someday maybe he could take these skills back with him. Arista reacts oddly quiet. She doesn't argue. She doesn't explode. She simply asks something like, you still think of back, don't you? Yeah, okay. I'm not sure about, talks about how much he's learned and all that stuff, but something that denotes a touch of homesickness. Something that just implies softly that he wants to return, that he misses something about home, that maybe he's looking at the horizon too long, complains about how the stars are always changing so he can never get his bearings. Yeah. For sure. Garrett reassures her badly. Of course, I mean, anyone would, but I'm here now. That's the wound. To Garrett, reassurance. To Arista, confirmation. She is a beautiful detour, not a destination. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. She's a beautiful detour, not a destination. That's perfect. That is perfect. That's the perfect wound to give her. That is... Option B, the fire line, more subtle. During cooking, she watches the fire and says, the sea never asks to be changed, to be loved. Garrett laughs it off, misunderstands. That line comes back hard during the storm. I do like that. That's not really like option B. That's an extra option. I like that. Oh, I can work with that line quite a bit. The sea never asked to be changed, to be loved. But the land and dot dot dot. Hi. Yeah, you're thinking what I'm thinking, aren't you, Lou? Okay. Yep. No, that works. That absolutely works. I hear you, baby. Just give me a second, okay? All right. Just give me a couple minutes to fudge with this a little bit. Yeah, I hear you, Lou. I hear you, darling. She could use a WALK. I could use a WALK. That's where I do a lot of my best brainstorming. Just get away from the screen and think, muse, mull over what I need to do. I'm sorry, you got knots. I'm messing with them a little bit. Well, she said, lifting her chin with sustained dignity. The sea never asks. Anything to be changed, to be loved. But perhaps the land has some small wisdom, after all. What's up, pizzeria? Go for it. Do it. Writing is good for you. And Romantasy is the top genre right now. So it's the most marketable thing. And when times are tough, people still pay for entertainment above all else. Senior asked anything to be changed, to be loved. Oh yeah? What kind of fan fiction are you writing about? Yes, finishing is good. It's good for your psyche. Good for practice. Yes. Nice. Hell yeah. Okay, so that's Yao, right? Okay. Rock on. Yeah, I'm shooting for around 40k words on this. Land, dot, dot, dot. Quotation. Change we love, perhaps the land. Her voice softened. What are you grumbling for, Lou? Has some small wisdom after all. And this It goes better here. Yeah, what fandom? You said a reality show. Do I need the word she? She said around the crunches of another mouthful. Okay, oh, Jujutsu Kaisen. Okay. Her voice softened, has some wisdom after all. Garrett grinned, high praise. Okay, so that's a nice little touch, but I still, yeah. Okay, I still feel like I need to add some beat. Final assessment, this chapter is good, not good for a draft. Good, your instincts are solid. You sense redundancy, correct. You sense redundancy, correct. You sense missing tension, correct. You resist over-dramatizing, wise. Add one quiet, painful misunderstanding before the storm, and Chapter 4 will feel inevitable instead of sudden. Chapter 14 will feel inevitable instead of sudden. If you want next, we can draft the missing scene together, or tighten the storm section for maximum mythic clarity, or look at how this chapter sets up the next one structurally. You're doing real work here. Okay. My novella it's a take on The Little Mermaid. I actually was a kid when The Little Mermaid first came out and had a lot of nightmares about it. So I'm kind of tapping into that a little bit because mermaids are terrifying creatures. So to quickly set it up, Garrett, my protagonist, gets caught in a storm. His ship sinks, and he gets saved by a mermaid who takes him back to this deserted island where she sings songs that kind of seduce him and put a spell on him. And it's this whole love story of her trying to find true love in order to break the curse that keeps her trapped on the island. And then it's asking that question of, can true love actually form under these constraints, under the situation? Like if you're trying to force it and if you're the only two people there, which I have another chapter where they discuss it. So yeah, and she's the Little Mermaid, but she's also like the Sea Witch. So she has her mermaid form that he typically deals with, but she also has like another form down in her sea cave where she becomes more octopus-like. Like she was banished there for being prideful, for being like a future queen of the ocean that everyone was terrified of. So she's kind of monstrous and regal, but at the same time barbaric and innocent and hurt, and like she's been stuck on this island for who knows how long, and she's drowned so many other sailors in the process of trying to find love. And Garrett just happens to be the guy who's plain enough, who's simple enough, who's naive enough to actually like keep going along with it. So yeah, and I'm on chapter 14. This is my slice of life chapter where I'm trying to show a passage of time, because one of the points that I have him make is like true love can't just like happen. It's not this instantaneous thing. It's a slow process. It's making a choice over and over and over again. And so I'm trying to emphasize that right now before I get into my big finale. So yeah, it's very Cersei-ish. I can definitely see elements of that too. So there's elements of Melville, little bits of Moby Dick, of Robinson Crusoe, of The Little Mermaid, of The Tempest. And I would love this to become a series. I'm writing it as a novella, so I'm just sticking to 40,000 words in that ballpark, and then I have another idea for the next book in the series where they get off the island and like how does he go back to court? How does he go back to his family with a mermaid for a wife? You know, how is that going to work out? So I'm trying to wrap it up. This is my second to last like main chapter that I'm working on. The next chapter, which I hope to do today as well, is, you know, the final bow on this story, and then I have another minor chapter after it, which is basically my hook to try and sell the next book. So, yeah. But right now, I appreciate you guys, I do, but I'm going to take a little break right here. The dog has let me know she needs to go out and mosey around the neighborhood a little bit, which when I get stuck on a section and I'm trying to figure out what to add next, that's the best place to do it. So I will be back in not too long, but I'm going to go out. Yeah, sorry. Yep, it is. It really is. But I'm going to go out and let my brain try to process stuff and hopefully come back with some notes. Because I need that final little beat of tension before I move into my emotional climax of this chapter. Thank you. Appreciate you, Moon Shepherd. Hey, welcome to the chat. Sorry you're coming in right at the end, but I will definitely be back on today. Like I said, I would love to finish this today. I'm making this my main focus of the day, is trying to finish at least this pass. I want this done by Christmas, and I got to get to illustrating. I got to do my cover art. I want that done by Christmas too. So, yeah, appreciate you guys. I really do. I'll be back. Thank you so much. Yeah. Go ahead and close this down. All right. Peace out, Twitch. Peace out, Kick, if anybody's watching me on that. Appreciate you too, even though I don't chat with you guys at all. I'll be back later.